sun is in her eyes. Thousands are one in her eyes. So she stumbles through the fields. She can't see, though she tries. She stumbles, now she cries. Her skin's red and it burns, and the fields go on for miles. Life sucks you dry, she wonders why. Wonders why.
Hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation.
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but I think here's the man right here.
Mr. President, I know you've urged people to move on, but I'm curious, why do you think your supporters in particular have been so interested in the Epstein story and so upset about how it's been handled? Why do you think that is?
So the different things, the Steele dossier, which was all fake, all that information was fake. But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going. But credible information, let them give it. Anything that's credible, I would say, let them have it.
Jeffrey Epstein was your neighbour. I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about him. East 71st Street. He was your neighbour for 10 years. How well did you know him?
All right. So we are in number 11 and he lives in number 9.
Right.
So we renovate, we buy our house, and our house is pigeons and mice.
Right.
Okay, it was derelict.
Right.
So we rebuild our house, we move in 2005. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein is arrested in like 08, I think, or something like that.
Right.
So knock on the door, his assistant on like a Saturday says, Mr. Epstein, your neighbor would like to invite you over for coffee. So my wife and I go next door. We walk the 7 steps,
Yes.
right, to the next house for coffee. We share a wall.
Right.
So it's in New York City. So he invites us in. We have coffee in this, and he says, "Do you want a tour?" We said, "Great."
Interesting.
He's got a really big house.
Every room you went into?
He's got. Well, I'll tell you. So his house is like super big, really wide, and so he gives me a tour in the living room, big living room, and then across from it is double doors. I assume it's the dining room.
Yeah.
And he opens the door, and there's a massage table in the middle of the room.
Ooh.
And candles all around and stuff. So I ask very insightful, cutting questions. I say to him, massage table in the middle of your house? How often do you have a massage? And he says, every day. And then he gets weirdly close to me.
Ooh.
And he says, and the right kind of massage.
Ooh.
Now my wife is standing here. So she looks at me and I look at her and we say, I'm sorry, we have to go. And we left. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
Oh.
And so I look back at it as a gift.
Yes.
He gave me a gift
Yes.
of a void. And
Yeah.
so, yeah,
So
that's
he
my
was-
story. A one and absolutely done.
Why did the Epstein files show you coordinating a meeting and planning a visit with Jeffrey Epstein on his private island in December 2012?
Thank you for the question. I'm glad to be here to make it clear that I met Jeffrey Epstein when I moved to a house next door to him in New York. Right? And I met him then. Over the next 14 years, I met him 2 other times that I can recall. 2 times. And that is none for 6 years. So 6 years later, I met him. And then a year and a half after that, I met him and never again. Probably the total, and you've seen all of these documents, of these millions and millions of documents, there may be 10 emails connecting me with him, probably about 10 emails connecting me with him over a 14-year period. I did not have any relationship with him. I barely had anything to do with that person, okay?
Secretary Lutnik, I think you understand the root of concern here. It's the way you described very emphatically your first encounter with him in his apartment, said you were disgusted, would never have any contact with him again. Did you in fact make the visit to Jeffrey Epstein's private island?
I did have lunch with him as I was on a boat going across on a family vacation. My wife was with me, as were my 4 children and nannies. I had another couple they were there as well with their children, and we had lunch on the island. That is true, for an hour, and we left with all of my children, with my nannies and my wife, all together. We were on family vacation. We were not apart. To suggest there was anything untoward about that in 2012, I don't recall why we did it, but
Mr. Secretary, again, as I said, there's not an indication that you yourself engaged in any wrongdoing with Jeffrey Epstein. It's the fact that you believe that you misled the country and the Congress based on your earlier statements, suggesting that you cut off all contact when in fact you had not. When you visited the private island, did you see anything inappropriate during that visit?
The only thing I saw with my wife and my children and the other couple and their children was staff who worked for Mr. Epstein on that island.
And you realize that, this visit took place after he'd been convicted, right? I mean, you made a very big point of saying that you sensed that this was a bad person in 2005. And then, of course, in 2008, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution of a minor. And yet you went and had this trip and other interactions. Did you have a dinner in Epstein's New York City home in 2011?
No.
So the information that suggests that there was a dinner with Woody Allen and Woody Allen's spouse at the Epstein residence, that's there's nothing to that. Is that right?
I actually don't know what you're referring to. There was, look, I looked through the millions of documents for my name, just like everybody else. And what I found was there was a document that says that I had a meeting with him on in May, I think, for an hour at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Not dinner or otherwise, for an hour at 5 o'clock.
All right. There's also a reference to the fact that Epstein had expressed an interest in meeting your nanny. Do you know whether Jeffrey Epstein ever met with your nanny?
No, I saw that. I had no idea what that was about. It had nothing to do with me.
No
as far as
interaction
I
at
know.
all with him on there.
No, as far as I know, no.
Would you, Mr. Secretary, be willing to ensure that the file is complete to share with this committee and the Congress your own records, any records you have that relate to Jeffrey Epstein?
I will surely talk about that. I hadn't thought about that. I have nothing to hide. Absolutely nothing.
Right. So, I mean, that's an incredible story that you could pick up that he was a pervert.
It's gross. The guy's gross. Right with my wife. And he's gross. The guy's gross. This was not, the deep nuance of Howard Lutnik. This guy's gross.
Right. So how come Bill Gates and all these other people could hang around him and not see what you saw? Or did they see it and ignore it? Or
No, they participate.
right.
That's what his MO was, get a massage. And what happened in that massage room, I assume was on video. This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever. Blackmail people. That's how he had money.
So what happened to those videos? Why is there now such a dearth of information when, Donald Trump's people are running the FBI and the DOJ?
I assume way back when,
Mm-hmm.
they traded those videos in exchange for him getting that 18-month sentence, which allowed him to have visits and be out of jail. I mean, he's a serial sex offender. How could he get 18 months and be able to go to his office during the day and have visitors and stuff? It must have been a trade. So my assumption, I have no knowledge, but my assumption is there was a trade for the videos because there were people on those videos.
And have you talked to Donald Trump about this and shared your theory?
No, I mean, he knows the story.
Right.
But
Oh,
my story that, I was one and done with the guy.
Yeah.
He knows that story, but that's it.
He would have been interested in that story.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's a story. It's just a one and done. That guy. Ugh.
And did Trump feel the same way about him?
I don't speak to him about these kind of, these are just distractions.
Right.
You know, the thing about the president is I'm doing the most important thing that I see. And then right after we do that, he does 10 other things that are as, if not more important, that are not my thing.
Right.
And you're like, wow. And he is great at it. And sometimes he lets me stay. So like, he lets me stay for the Joint Chiefs of Staff coming. Right. I'm like, this is like the coolest thing ever.
You sit here and you attack the president, and I am not going to have it. I'm not going to put up with it. You know, all they want to do, all the American people need to know this. They are talking about Epstein today. This has been around since the Obama administration. This administration released over 3 million pages of documents, over 3 million. And Donald Trump signed that law to release all of those documents. He is the most transparent president in the nation's history. And none of them asked Merrick Garland over the last 4 years one word about Jeffrey Epstein. How ironic is that? You know why? Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
Mr. Jordan, Mr. Jordan.
Committee will be in order.
Secretary Lutnik today was testifying on the Hill. He said that he had visited Epstein's Island in 2012 with his wife and children. And that's after he said that he had cut ties with Epstein. And Justice Department documents show that he was in contact with Epstein through 2018 over messages. So does the White House stand behind Secretary Lutnik right now? Or given what he has said today, has there been any shift in how the White House is viewing Secretary Lutnik's performance?
No, Secretary Lutnik remains a very important member of President Trump's team, and the president fully supports the secretary.
Sorry. Welcome to Through a Glass Darkly Live. You're watching us on YouTube, Twitter. Nobody's watching us on Facebook, even though it streams to Facebook. But let's see. Sorry, I just had a few more things. The intro song was Mark of the Doomslayer by Carl Casey at White Bat Audio. And sorry, I'm just getting through all these. Hey, Mermaid Moxie, thank you for the $20. I really appreciate that. I thank you, in the comments, but I also and beautiful poem. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. So many. Okay. All right. We are actually going to get into the files. I haven't spent any time on them. I'm going to use this, and I hope you can hear all that background because some dipshit decided to take a bath or a shower like right in the middle of the live stream, and it's right over my head. So hopefully you can't hear it. But anyway, where was I going with this? Yeah, definitely smash the like. So I just got back from the Julian Dory podcast. We did like 3 hours. It was a blur. I fucked up on some names. The biggest fuck up I had, and it bothers me, is Scott Gearson. I always say Scott Pearson. So I'm sure I fucked up all sorts of things, but I think it went well. It all depends on how it's edited, right? They could edit me to look like a starry-eyed moron, like conspiracy theorist, or I can look like a very level-headed guy who's talking about various theories and stuff like that. But throughout the process, Julian and Joey Deef, and they have a new photographer named Nacho. But as I was saying, like whenever somebody runs the bath, hopefully you can't hear it because it's extremely loud and it's driving me crazy. Anyway, somebody just walked by when I said that, so that was a message to them. I can't see their face, but I'm sure they're sneering at me or something. Yes, they're sneering at me. Anyway, I love my wife very much, but we have a very direct communication style. Anyway, let's see. In terms of when it's going to come out, it's definitely watery background noise. So he told me 2.5 weeks, but don't expect that. I know. I'm insufferable. Anyway, I'm very lucky to have a wife that suffers my outbursts like that. Anyway, it should be out in 2.5 weeks. I expect it to be longer because he has a similar booking style, not booking style, but like episode release style that I do. So if you'll notice, not all my episodes are in numeric order. They are in numeric order, but they're in the numeric order that I record them. If you notice in the last week, the 2 episodes that I released were like the latest ones that I recorded. Right? And there were episodes that I recorded much earlier that still haven't appeared yet. And the reason is those 2 episodes, one was on Amy Eskridge with Frank Milburn, because it was topical. Like I had to get it out, otherwise, it would have been missed in the news cycle. The same thing with the death of Ed Dames. I couldn't do that like a month and a half from now. It's already a little late. I wanted to get those 2 out as soon as possible. Julian Dory has the same sort of style. So if somebody's talking about a very news relevant item that he records later, my episode will get pushed out. It was very evergreen. So, in terms of how those episodes tend to perform, they don't pop right away. They just get sustainable views forever. Okay, so the interview that we had was more on those issues, but I talked a lot about remote viewing, how it works. I talked a lot about, we talked a little bit about Epstein and the control system. I threw out some Charles Fort. We're all, I use the, it should be copyrighted, but I don't know if it is yet. But I use the term pure spec a lot because that's their term for like, this is just speculation, but imagine if blah, blah, blah. So, there's a lot of that talk. If they remove that part, I'll sound like a completely crazy whack job. But if they put that in, I got enough hedging that I see like I'm, it's more of a serious interview. So anyway, it was let's see. Yeah, I've been doing a number of things to prepare for when it comes out, and I appreciate that, folks. Yeah, we'll see. I made them laugh a few times, which it was intentional, but I have a pretty straight face when I'm doing it. So, oh wow. So Maggie Smith says dated someone that I think was working on back engineering. Story too long to term. Formal geophysics professor working as systems engineer, a well-known company. Yeah. So anyway, they're good. The water stopped. Wonderful. Okay. So I think it went well. We talked about all sorts of things, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But Julian and his team were super gracious. Were awesome. I got to see their operation. First-class people. We talked about Kurt. Obviously, he's like, "Why did Kurt refer you to me?" And I kind of had to tell a story that you already know about the Lynn Buchanan episode and all that good stuff. So, Anyway, we recorded like 3 hours of footage, and I was talking the whole time. It went very fast. So I don't know. We'll see. And then he also has a bunch of books when you come in there of all his like prior guests. So I gave him like 3 of my anthologies. 3 of my anthologies. And Julia Mossbridge's book was there. So I was reading that. And then of course, like yesterday she appeared on the Rogan podcast. So anyway, it's crazy, crazy times. All right, there's people who don't even know me who are like, what the fuck? I've been on here for 25 minutes and this guy hasn't talked about aliens or the release. We're going to get to it right about now. However, the Epstein stuff, the Lutnik stuff, it all plays in. Because if you look at this current release, I'm on the fence, but on the fence between, like, is this an honest effort or is this a distraction? And right now I'm weighing onto the distraction part because the stuff was a nothing burger. That said, I'm talking about things I've seen on Twitter. I'm not talking about the actual going through file by file. And there's like 161 of them. So we're going to try to get through as many of those files as we can. And I need to see it. Yeah, I need to see a podcast with Kurt and Alex Jones as well. And I'm pretty sure, like, Alex Jones knows who Kurt is. So, like, that's within the universe, right? Okay. Good to hear that Julian. Ashton Forbes said Julian was terrible. I thought Ashton was projecting. You have confirmed that. Thanks. I mean, to be fair, you know, they pushed a lot at him, right? So I can understand both perspectives, right? Because Julian is not somebody. My sense is if you go in there and you talk like you have the answer to everything, you say it with absolute confidence and certainty, like, and which is Ashton's style, for better or for worse. Julian's not gonna take you seriously if you do that, right? And you said as much after the interview. I'm like, did I sound like a crazy wild man? He's like, no. You were very measured, stuff like that. Yeah, are you talking about the Jerky Boys, like Jersey? And so Rosenberg and my ass neck really hurts, like that, Jerky Boys. So I didn't have much time to eat. It was going great, but like I ate terribly but I still lost weight because I didn't eat much because there was just nothing around me and I didn't have a lot of time to eat like during the travel period. But I broke it like yesterday and today just to take a break, and then I'm going to go back on it. But I'm down like 12 pounds, something like that. Let's see. All right, let's get into this stuff. Let's see. I think they're doing trickle disclosure. Yeah. You might be right, CJ Cobra Commander. Like, I'm willing to give it a chance. Jeff's jerky. Oh, I got it. Nice, funny for show. All right. Skin does look. Well, skin looks good because I have I moved up the saturation. Moved it up a tick on my on StreamYard. That's why I look like I'm like tan or whatever. I moved it up a notch, so there's not much difference. Okay. All right, let's just figure out how to share this thingamajigger. Is this it? Oh, you know what? I screwed up. If there is any, stop sharing. If there is any sound, I need to make sure that there's sound, and I didn't select sound in that case. Okay, got it. And let's do something like this. I don't know. Is that good, or is there something better? That's too weird. I don't like that. All right, we'll go with that because I think it's more important for you to see it. All right. So, One other thing. Oh, let's see. MC every morning a keto cheat code. Last summer dropped 30 pounds. Huh. Yeah, carnivore is the best. Although, as you can see, I'm deviating briefly to drink some Dunkin'. Again, just today. Tomorrow I go back. But I'll probably gain 5 pounds today because I ate a pizza. And that's all I ate. But again, that was more to celebrate the kind of getting started. The other thing that I want to talk about, not talk about, but just announce. Before this Julian Dury thing goes public, and again, look, it could always get canceled. They could always delete it and say, no, it's not any good. Anything can happen. But I think it went well. All right. I started a TikTok channel. I'm just going to put it down there. It makes no sense. It wouldn't allow me to like come up with anything. It was really frustrating. But I have, I think, 33 videos up there now. I'll have a total of 65, and I'm just going to drip about 5 a day. But I have no followers yet because I just literally opened the account this morning and have been like uploading videos today. But if you could do me a favor and just like go there, and if you have a TikTok account, and then just sign up. I'm just going to use that as a funnel to the YouTube channel. And then hopefully we'll be able to grow a lot faster. People that are much more successful YouTubers or have more successful YouTube channels than I do, like the Y-Files, which also has much higher production value, but they all only blew up after they started a channel on TikTok, right? And then YouTube kind of tended to follow. But let's see. Yeah. Yeah, sweet coffee will make you big. Oh, it does. Coffee counts if you have like sugar in it. So, okay. So let's see what's in these files, because again, I have not personally looked at them myself. Now I just have to find it. All right. So here's the first one. What is this? All right. So this is a case file. Oh, we got to download it. Are you kidding me? Now the question is, can you all see that? Let's see. Yes, you can. Okay. All right. So this is the first one. What do we got here? All right. So this is just investigating some query. Sorry, cannot be, however, sure you will be made a matter of record. So the Amalgamated Flying Saucer Clubs of America. So somebody, and you can't even read this. Yes, this is a member of NICAP. They're just reporting. Yeah, I've already looked at this one actually, and this is just they rendered this in printing above. Okay, I don't. What is this? Bright World in Hands. Yeah, this is like an article or something. I'll just I mean, this is something that like Rich Geldrich would yawn at because he's already done all this stuff. Now, this could be interesting. So this is a memorandum. Okay, so it's Philadelphia Division by letter dated blah, 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 furnished Los Angeles issue entitled Flying Saucer, which is the official journal, the amount. Okay. So the indices of the Los Angeles Division contain no information identifiable with Renaud. Renaud. And no investigations has ever been conducted on captioned organization. No further. Okay, so that's. Yeah, this is like nothing burger, nothing burger. Okay. Unidentified flying objects is that they've changed it to discs. Again, this is another memorandum. They're just like enclosing copies of articles. And they're like reviewing books. This is Dr. Condon. Yeah, I mean, I'm going through this relatively fast, but I don't. It's just very administrative. Why agents of your bureau investigated reported landings of You replied saying investigated these cases to determine whether any federal law had been broken and that their findings were confidential, as were all. And who's this from? Somebody from in the UK. I don't know. God, oh, here's Lonnie Zamora. This is the Lonnie Zamora case. So this is somewhat okay. So I guess bureau files, files, reflect an unidentified was cited near Socorro, New Mexico on April 24th, 1964. Captain Holder, United States Air Force, along with SAD Arthur Burns Jr., interviewed one Lonnie Zamora of the Socorro Police Department who observed the phenomenon. S.A. Burns typed such a statement from Zamora, which was later included in a memo for dissemination. The Albuquerque office did not conduct any investigation other than to keep the Bureau advised and maintain liaison with the Air Force. This is apparently the situation. The correspondent view files contain no information identifiable with the correspondent. This is Princeton, West Virginia. Yeah, there's not a lot here. Okay, so this is the police chief of Princeton, West Virginia. Or utterly disregard the following subject. I'd hope you might make a statement. Okay, I'm speaking of the UFOs or flying before long. It is a matter of time you're going to be scooped on it, so to speak. So I happen to know they exist. I have personally seen two of them. One of these sightings under low cloud cover in daylight. I am not sure as to cloud height. The other at perhaps 2,000 feet altitude, approximately 1 mile off. You may not be interested. Yeah, you may not be interested, but I think this is vital to the security of the United States. It's vital. Okay, if I'm correct, these things do land. I'm greatly concerned. So if this is okay, so this was the police chief to J. Edgar Hoover, to the FBI. It's obviously some frustration. Okay, so what is this? Yeah, so again, FBI, as always, is utterly useless, right? They're just pawning people off. It's not our jurisdiction, There's no crimes that are associated or committed, so we're going to ignore it. I mean, this is just number one of 161, and we're on page 42 of 184. So I'm going to have to go a little faster. Oh my God. I am doing my science fair project. Could you please send me all information? Like, are you kidding me? You're writing to the FBI and asking them to send you stuff? Anyway, that's interesting. Okay. So this is just Dr. Edward Condon. It's like a UPI memo or something. Okay, oblong-shaped object which was aligned. So this is just like the FBI stuff. Okay, this is like almost impossible to see. All right, so this is somebody reporting the assault on unidentified objects in 1945 on combat missions. Yeah, this is hard to read. This is way too much. All right, I'm going to probably bore people if I don't get through this too quickly. I'm just trying to... I will probably jump ahead to videos just because this is a video medium. Wait, what the hell? Information concerning flight. Review the Miami indices revealed information reflecting subject appeared at the Miami office on July 24th, 1959, and volunteered to return to Austria as an intelligence agent. His express motivation was to do something to repay the debt he felt he owed the United States. He was afforded the Washington, D.C. headquarters address of the Central Intelligence Agency and told his inquiry should be directed there. Also on July 4th, 1961, he appeared at the Miami office and gave an incoherent story of recently meeting an individual who asked him to kill his mother. Periel appeared to be somewhat bewildered and continuously gazed away from the interviewing agent. All right, he's okay. Photographed during 1944. Here we go. So he's part of from the German Air Academy and was assigned as a member of the Luftwaffe on the Russian front. Near the end of 1944, he was released from this duty and was assigned as a test pilot to a top-secret project in the Black Forest of Austria. During this period, he observed the aircraft described above. It was saucer-shaped, about 21 feet in diameter, radio-controlled, and mounted several jet engines around the exterior position of the craft. He further described the exterior portion as revolving around the dome in the center, which remained stationary. It was Perel's responsibility to photograph the object while in flight. He asserted he was able to retain a negative of the photograph he made at 7,000 meters, 20,000 feet. A Xerox copy of the negative, as furnished by Perel, appears on the last page of this communication. Also, a still photo is allegedly made at the risk of my life, illustrating the object parked in a hangar. Okay, so according to Perel, the above aircraft was designed and engineered by Kure, a German engineer whose present whereabouts is unknown to him. The assumed Kure was taken into custody by Allied forces upon the termination of hostilities. Perel stated that Kure unsuccessfully attempted to avoid the German draft, but was apprehended by the Gestapo in Vienna, Austria, sometime during the late 1943 or 1944. He assumed all were captured by Allied forces. He said this type of aircraft was responsible for the downing of at least one American B-26 airplane. He furnished the following fuel and engine data. So fuel mixture, nitrogen tetroxide in methyl alcohol, rather than oxygen holding mixture of hydrogen peroxide, H2O2. Huh. So this fits like the Nazi UFO thing. Are you sure? Pearl, so he was shot down by British, having been reassigned to the Western Front. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that's interesting. And they keep going into this Pearl guy who's in the German Air Academy. This looks like a repeat of everything I just read. Yeah, these are not great photos. But I guess this is this machine. This is like another picture of it. Yeah, they kind of had this buried in here a little bit. Again, it's the same shit. It's like a repeat. All right, Ivan Sam. Okay, alleged impersonation of FBI. Okay. Yeah, I'm skimming through. UFO contact. This is just like a magazine or something. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this. Oh, here it is. UFOs over White Sands Missile Range. UFOs over British Columbia. All right, we get into a little Adamski stuff. Kind of the huge. Interesting. Dr. Werner von Braun. Yeah, Werner von Braun is saying basically science and religion are not independent of each other. Scientists who cannot perceive a higher reality behind the origin of the universe understand that the new. Yeah. This is interesting. Yeah, it's interesting that they chose to show this religious iconography. That's probably on purpose. Angels and flying machines. Oh yeah, this is like the negative of the picture from I forget which one it was. One of the crashes. Interesting. So this is a contact report. So this woman stated in July 1960 she met a being from another planet who assumed earthly form. Okay, anti-missile missile was fired at a UFO over Africa. but the UFO was protected by its force field. The UFO was detected 22,000 miles from Earth by radar. The UFO was detected over Antarctica, August 20th, 1967, and over the dew line this past week, and was shot down. And beings from outer space are trying to recover it. When was this? So, in like either early October or late September, was shot down over the dew line. Maybe she was crazy. Maybe she was real. Who knows? Maybe it was a real thing. Who knows? I mean, we're almost an hour in, and we're not even through the first document. What was this? Bob Zanotti. These people just asking the FBI to send them information. This is another sighting report sent to the FBI. This is interesting. Okay, who's this? Laying air mines? Hmm. Harvard College Observatory? Oh, this is just, it was a bright meteor, sometimes called a fireball or a bolide. This is exactly what Mick West would say. So maybe that's what it was. Maybe that was just a false sighting. Hmm. Perry was intoxicated. Yeah, they couldn't find the guy. That sounds like a hoaxer. Okay. Oh, that's weird. Men with Oriental features. Wearing dark clothes, go around terrifying you. A close-up. This is a Men in Black report. When is this? So this is 1969. So, dear sir, there are currently rumors over the grapevine, and in print that suggests men with Oriental features wearing dark clothes, Men in Black, go around terrorizing people with close-up views of UFOs. It is also rumored these creatures have impersonated armed forces officers and FBI investigators. They're supposed to ride around in black or dark automobiles that either have old license tags or none at all. Several are reported to have attempted to run down witnesses of UFO sightings, made disturbing, almost macabre phone calls, silenced several investigators who were supposed to have learned some dark secret about extraterrestrial craft or mission plans and opened mail, tapped telephones, and even taking pictures of several homes where UFO witnesses live. Okay, so this is somebody asking for rumors. This is Mr. Larry Stevens who's asking for rumors about this. Okay. Yeah, so again, FBI just kind of claiming we know nothing, and they're just pushing along. All right, just about just a club that's interested in UFOs. This is weird. So that sounds like a potential whistleblower thing. Okay. As soon as I get through this, I'm going to go back to comments just so that I can see. I'm probably going way too fast, but I'm trying to just get through this. Okay. Yeah, not a lot here. Yeah, so this is the blue book kind of whitewashing sort of thing. Oh, this is important. Has never given any threat. Okay. Yes, this is just the rationale for terminating blue book. Interesting. There's a number of sightings. So huge spike in 52. And I just keep going down. All right, we're almost through. All right. That's only the first. That's the first fucking document. Maybe I should read what these things are first before I go into them. All right, so this includes investigative records, eyewitness testimonies, and public reports concerning This is the next one, file 2 out of 161. Flying discs documented. Records include high-profile incident accounts, photographic evidence from sites like Oak Ridge. That's a national laboratory where they related to the Manhattan Project. And technical proposals include convention programs, researcher accounts, and extensive media coverage from the period. All right, let's just find video and stuff like that, because and obviously I should just read this stuff first before I go into it, but let's get through some comments first. Oh boy, there are a lot. Just to make sure that I kind of went offline, reading this. So, okay, so French Gitman going down smoothly. What's the goblins? Yeah, fair enough. Let's see. Yeah, probably. I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, the Zamora case was in there. Okay. Sorry, folks. I'm just going through. I 100%. If they were serious about disclosure, they would show the beings. They would show evidence of the beings. Okay, saying Lana, we're not committing federal crimes since well, I don't know. Maybe it's just an excuse. Foo Fighters. Hey, Gray Al, good to see you. Yeah, Michael Schratt does good work for sure. Yeah, I need to just go straight to video. Yeah, you saw the Austrian/German connection. So Gray Al asks, where am I in the 4,000-foot hypothesis? E8 lattice theory, that our reality is a projection of an 8-dimensional hypercube, and our reality is basically a projection or shadow of that, and there are an infinite number of realities that are semi-overlapping, and they're just beings in several or more of these realities that have figured out how to traverse these realities, and that's what we see as non-human intelligences. That's where I am right now, but who knows. But the current scientific model for that it's called the E8 lattice theory. Let's see. I know there will be content for months. I mean, I just went through one out of the 161, and we're an hour into this live stream. Yeah, I think it's like a portal thing. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it is. Yeah, very much John Keel content. Sorry, I'm going through folks. How you doing, Oracle of Relfi? Good to see you here. Okay. Yeah, it definitely is an insult to people who have been abducted. Okay. All right. All right, let's go. Let's find something that's a little bit more visual. So I'm going to read some of the explanation behind these files. All right, so this is the third one. The records include these are more photographic evidence from include convention programs, researcher. Yeah, it's like the same stuff. So this is the fourth one. Same thing. Same like literal. So 1, 2, 3, 4 section. Yeah, this is all. It's like section 9 will have the same explanation. Okay, so we'll skip that. I wish I could be more. Yeah, this is same stuff. Same stuff. Okay, same stuff. Interesting. All right, there's a NASA thing we can take a look at, but yeah, this is like the same stuff. I'm sure there's some good stuff in there, but yeah, same. Okay, so this is related to flying discs. Okay, so this is the Air Material Out Command. So they would be like the last thing was FBI. You're not going to see anything useful with the FBI. This might be more interesting. So this was secret. It's to the Chief of Staff of the Air Force. Okay. So this just shows the Air Force was taking it seriously in December 1947. Okay. Okay, so Jefferson, Oregon. Yeah, there's not a lot in here, at least that I can discern and like very quickly. And sorry if if I'm going too fast. I'm not a super fast reader, but I'm probably faster than the general average. So if I'm going too fast, just let me know in the comments. I won't know until I get through this file. It's only 28 pages, so I'll get through it relatively quickly, but still. All right, what is this? All right, so they have a common description, okay, of the object. So metallic or light reflecting surfaces, absence of trail, except in operating under high performance conditions, circular, elliptical, and flat on bottom and domed on top. Several reports of well-kept formation flights varying from 3 to 9 objects. Interesting, multiples of 3. That's interesting. Normally, no associated sound except in 3 instances. A substantial rumbling roar was noted. Level flight speeds normally above 300 knots are estimated. Okay. Okay, so this is just like a reprint of what we just read. Huh. This indicates that 1,800 aircraft directly or indirectly based on the... Oh, this is interesting. What year is this? 1947. A recent report from the U.S. Military Attaché Moscow, USSR, dated 9 June 1947, indicates that 1,500 or 8... It's hard to tell if that's 15 or 1,800 aircraft directly or indirectly based on the Horton 8 design, so 6-engine pusher, having a wing spread of 131 feet and a gross weight of approximately 33,000 pounds, are being built for bomber squadron use. The Russian version, however, is jet propelled. Okay, so this is the German. The Horton design is like a German flying wing by the Horton brothers. Interesting. Regarding German scientists. So they're just talking about interrogating German scientists. Okay. I was contacted by Miss Madeline Gwynn Merchant, Santa Fe, New Mexico, who described what would be determined a novel theory concerning flying discs. According to her theory, flying discs are being fired from a locality in central Mexico from a laboratory which is being operated by the Russians. She claims they are being aimed at the United States for the purpose of sighting in an important atomic energy and aircraft installations. General Brentnall states that he does not have any further interest in an interrogation of Mrs. Merchant since it is not an engineering matter. However, he recommends that if HQ, Air Battalion Command, T2 wishes to, I think that just means technical intelligence, wishes to sponsor an interrogation of this nature, like Colonel Howard Bunker should be contacted to determine the name and address of the colonel at Las Vegas who has knowledge of this case. Okay. I think this might just be Cold War paranoia. Hmm. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I don't want to go into that. Let's look at NASA. This file contains an independent report on UFOs written by the French Association Comite, previously published in the French magazine. Which, okay. All right, I don't want to go into that one. It might be good stuff, but This is NASA. All right, so Gemini was the 10th crewed American space flight. This document is a transfer between the flight crew, Jim Lovell and Frank Borman, and the manned flight center known as the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. Transcript begins with Borman's report of a bogey, commentary nomenclature for an unknown aircraft, as well as a debris field consisting of very many hundreds of little particles. He estimated the particles' distance from the spacecraft to be 4 miles. A brilliant body in the sun. Okay. This might be interesting. Okay. How do you read? Loud and clear. Go ahead. A bogey at 10 o'clock high. I've actually heard this one on the internet. Said we have a bogey at 10 o'clock high. Roger, Gemini 7. Is that the booster or is that a natural sighting? A what? Say again, 7. We have debris up here. This is an actual sighting. You have any more information? Estimate distance or size? We also have the booster in sight. Understand, you also have the booster in sight, Roger. We have very, very many. It looks like hundreds of little particles going by to the left out about 3 or 4 miles. Understand, you have many small particles going by on the left. At what distance? 4 miles, or about, it looks like a path of the vehicle at 90 degrees. Roger, understand they're about 3 or 4 miles away. They've passed now. They're going into polar orbit. Roger, understand that they're 3 to 4 miles away. That's what it appeared like. That's Roger. Okay, so Houston, were these particles in addition to the booster and the bogey at 10 o'clock high? Roger, I have the booster on my side, a brilliant body in the sun against a black background with trillions. I mean, it's just, you couldn't possibly know trillions. With trillions of particles on it. Roger, what direction is it from? It's about at my 2 o'clock position. Does that mean it's ahead of you? It's ahead of us at 2 o'clock, slowly tumbling. Roger. Okay, this is Gemini Control again. The reference in that conversation to the third unidentified object, of course, was on the third object was a bogey. There were several references to the bogey at 4 hours, 24 minutes into the flight. This is Gemini Control. All right, this is the handwritten version. All right, so that was interesting, but not like a bombshell. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, here's the audio excerpt. Let's hear what this has to say.
Gemini Control here again.
Can you all hear that, or do I need to Can somebody just let me know if they can hear that when I hit it? Can somebody just let me know if they can hear, like when I played it, could they hear that? Or do I need to... Yeah, let me just remove it and try it again. Hold on. Okay. All right. Well, I'll just reset it up. It's fine. Okay. I'm just going to go back and play it from the beginning. All right. Here we go.
Gemini Control here again. Earlier in the flight, you'll recall at the start of the second revolution, we had a reference to several objects that the crew spotted. This was in the area of Antigua. Due to a mechanical breakdown, we did not have that portion of the tape available for you. This was a line breakdown between Building 30 and our news center.
I'm going to let the whole thing play. It's like 6 minutes long, so...
Since then, we have dubbed the tape off the master tape here in the control center, and we are now prepared to play it for you. It contains references to sighting not only some particles, but as well as an unidentified object, plus the booster. Here's that tape. We'll play it for you now.
Gemini 7 here, Houston 98.
Loud and clear. 7, go ahead.
Bogey at 10 o'clock high.
This is Houston. Say again, 7.
So we have a bogey at 10 o'clock high.
Roger. Gemini 7, is that the booster or is that an actual sighting?
What?
Say again, 7.
So we have several, looks like the 3 up there, actual sighting.
You have any more information, estimate distance or size?
And we also have the booster in sight.
Understand you also have the booster in sight, Roger.
And we have very, very many, looks like hundreds of little particles going by to the left out about 3 to 4 miles.
Understand you have many small particles going by on the left. At what distance?
4 miles. Looks like perhaps a vehicle that's disintegrated.
Roger, understand they're about 3 to 4 miles away.
They're past now, they're going to polar orbit.
Roger, and understand they were about 3 to 4 miles away.
That's appears like. Or further.
Roger. Gemini 7, Houston, were these particles in addition to the booster and the bogey at 10 o'clock high? Roger.
7, this is, Houston, this is 7.
Go ahead.
I have the booster on my side as a brilliant body of the sun against a black background and with billions of particles around it.
Roger, what direction is it from you?
It's about at my 2 o'clock position.
Does that mean it's ahead of you?
It's affirmative. Ahead of us at 2 o'clock, slowly tumbling.
Roger.
OS91.
About 2 minutes left, something like that, in this transmission. There's a long break here, man.
Fox 91. Fox 191, say again.
Gemini Control here again. The reference in that conversation to the third unidentified object, of course, the third object was bogey. There were several references to the bogey. This is the unidentified object, in addition to particles which appeared to be headed in a polar orbit, you heard Frank Borman say, plus Jim Lovell discussing the booster. It was Borman who reported sighting the bogey. This is Gemini Control in Houston at 4 hours, 24 minutes into the flight.
All right. Well, that was. I heard that before on. Somebody put it up on X, but let's just go back. Let's see what other good stuff they have. Huh. This is 19. This is about German armament and equipment documents. Let's see. Lots of Department of Azerbaijan. Release date. Well, yeah, this is yesterday, obviously. I don't think the Department of State's going to have anything that interesting. Maybe, but again, we have like a little bit over half an hour left, so I'm going to have to. We can't look at everything. This looks interesting, though. This German armament. How long is this? All right, 17 pages. We can kind of quickly go on it. Okay, so this is March 1945. I believe the war ended in it was April or May of that, at least in like Victory in Europe Day. Okay, so with reference to reports forwarded from the looks like the 12th Tactical Air Command. So this is about Foo Fighters and the subject of night phenomena, Foo Fighter. And further to the headquarters letter over reference dated 11 February, reply has not been received from the Air Ministry, who say that Bomber Command owns Bomber Command crews have for some time been reporting similar phenomenon. The Air Ministry, I guess the Air Ministry is probably the British. The U.S. said a few of the alleged aircraft may have been Messerschmitt 262s, which are the first jet aircraft, I believe, in the world, the German jet aircraft. And for the flak rockets are suggested as most likely explanation. It's regretted that no further more definite information can be given. Okay. So they're blaming it on the Messerschmitt 262. So SHAEF is Supreme Headquarters Allied Expeditionary Forces, I think. Marcus, okay, this is the same thing I just read. It's just easier to read. All right, so let's see. If there's anything regarding Foo Fighters. Okay. Okay, so they have photos of long cylindrical objects taken by the 67th Tactical, maybe reconnaissance pilots. Vicinity F5710 were unsuccessful for okay. Yeah, floating in the air, 12 feet long, suspended vertically. It appeared, with small fins and mass projecting from the lower end. The object was attached partially, deflated, a red flame resulted without smoke. The cylinder did not disintegrate. Photo taken, okay. Okay, so an aluminum-colored cylinder-shaped object about 12 feet long and this is what I just... And 1 foot in diameter was observed floating in the air at 9,000 feet. It appeared to be suspended vertically with small fins and a mass projecting from the lower end. The object was attacked and partially deflated. A red flame resulted without smoke. The cylinder did not disintegrate. Okay. Okay, at the headquarters, much nature. Okay, so here's the quote from this, again, night phenomena. We have encountered a phenomenon which we cannot explain. Crews have been followed by lights that blink on and off, changing colors, etc. The lights come very close and fly formation with our planes. They are agitating and keep the crews on edge when they encounter them, mainly because they cannot explain them. It is requested further information to be furnished on the subject, such as similar experiences of other night units. Okay. Okay, did the messenger have complete information? Okay, that's... All right, so here's some more detail. In compliance with paragraph 2 of first, the following extracts from the sortie reports of various pilots who have encountered the night phenomena are submitted for your information. So on the night of 14 through 15 December 1944, in the vicinity of Erstein V-9381, flying at 1,000 feet, observed large red light at 2,000 feet going east at 1840 hours, traveling at approximately 200 miles per hour. Night of 16 to 17 December 1944, 20 miles north of Breisach, at 800 feet, observed 5 or 6 flashing red and green lights in T-shape, thought they were flak. About 10 minutes later, saw the same lights much closer, and behind me, we turned port and starboard, and the lights followed. They closed into about 9 o'clock and 1,000 feet and remained in that position for several minutes and then disappeared. Night of 22 to 23 December 1944, patrolling at Angels 10 from Saarburg to Strasbourg, north and south of highway at 0600 hours, saw 2 lights coming toward A6 or AC from the ground. Upon reaching altitude of plane, they leveled off and stayed on my tail for approximately 2 minutes. Lights appeared to be a large orange glow. The only sighting I've ever had in my entire life was exactly like that. Just like a large orange glow that just zipped over my house and off toward the Sacramento River. And that happened to me August 2023. I reported it on this channel, and to this day I don't know what it was. So after staying with AC for approximately 2 minutes, they would peel off and turn away, fly along level, and then go out. They appeared to be under perfect control at all times. Lights were seen somewhere in the vicinity of Maginau. Okay, so night of 23 to 24 December 1944, observed reddish-colored flames at considerable distance and at approximately 10,000 feet. Okay, further, night of December 23rd to 24, approximately 10 miles south of Point X, or Point X-ray, noticed to northeast, approximately 5 miles, a growing red object shooting straight up, changed suddenly to plain view of, I don't know what AC means, doing a wing over and going to a dive and disappearing. And then again on the night of the 26th to the 27th December 1944, at 01:45 hours, saw 2 yellow streaks of flame flying at scene level at approximately 3,000 feet off port side. We also saw red balls of fire that stayed up for 10 seconds, approximately 45 miles away. After seeing yellow streaks, made starboard vector, lost altitude, and streaks disappeared from view. Called GCI blunder and asked if any EA were, probably means enemy aircraft, were in vicinity. They answered no. Instructed to return to Angels 10. We felt what was thought to be prop wash, very distinct. Noticed several groups of lights off port while patrolling in vicinity of Quebec 9050 and Romeo 15156. Lights made distinct lines somewhat like arrows. Night of 26-27, 1944, while in Vector 090 near Victor 7050. During patrol, we observed airborne white lights. They were staggered evenly vertically, and we could see from 1 to 4 swing at once. They appeared stationary at 10,000 feet. Okay, same night, observed light at same altitude while in vicinity of Worms. Observers saw lights come within 100 feet, peeled off, and took evasive action, but light continued to follow for 5 minutes. Light then pulled up rapidly and went out of sight. And then again, the next night, while in north heading in patrol area, noticed vicinity of Quebec 1378. Lights suspended in air, moving slowly, and would then disappear. were orange in color. Lights appeared singly and in pairs. Observed these lights 4 or 5 times during period. Same night, 8 miles northeast of Lunaville at 1910 hours, saw 3 lights, red and white. Again, there's that multiple 3. One stationed on starboard and one on port from 1,000 feet to 2,000 feet to rear and chasing in at Angels 10. Pulled up to Angels 8 and lights went out. Called Churchman to see if there was anything in the area. Received a negative reply. Night of 30 to 31 December 1944 saw a group of lights flying through the air. Okay, so it just saw Foo Fighters north of Strasbourg and north of Svin. Observe a large orange glow in sky, approximately 5 feet in the. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Okay, all right, that was interesting. I mean, obviously not definitive, but interesting. Good, like a little interesting history. All right. I don't think we need to go. I'm just going to keep going. These are just incident summaries. I'm just going to see if we can get some video. I'm sure there's good stuff and like there's some hidden gems, but all right, FBI, anything FBI, I'm just going to, they're useless. Oh, this is interesting. We go straight to May 2024. Sorry, 2022. Lots of 2022. Let's see. All right, let's take a look at this one, but let's see, what's the rank? So staff sergeant. All right, so it was an Air Force staff sergeant reported this. All right, this is all. Okay, this is the important part. Okay, observed five UAPs fly across the screen. Observed the UAP with the visual reconnaissance of a possible missile flight. All right, I'm not going to spend too much time on these. You're going to just get this like highly technical jargon. Again, these mission reports. I am just going to aggressively look for. I mean, if one thing's pretty clear, we see these over conflict zones. Now, is that just because the sensors are over the conflict zones? Although Greece, why Greece constantly? Got some stuff over Japan, Gulf of Aden. Vandenberg Air Force Base. I wonder if this is the red UFO or red square incident. Okay. Blah blah blah. This is just launch summaries. I don't have to go through that. It's a lot of pages. Oh, they're showing like launch things. So program. I don't know why they released this. They're sharing a lot here. All right, let's just. I have no desire to share this with U.S. adversaries, so I'm just going to race through this. This is. Oh, what's this? Minuteman? What the fuck? It's a nuclear missile. It's probably just the missile. They're just testing it. Okay. Yeah, this is just going. It's basically like every launch program ever at Vandenberg. All right. up to 2000. Yeah, so first Vandenberg ICBM launch. Okay, that's great. I mean, this is useful for... I don't know why they're sharing this. All right, I just feel I need to look at this. I'll just go. What is this about? Okay. U.S. aircraft observed one possible UFO for 20 flying an unknown altitude. No interference was noted. All right. That's that. Okay. Great. Wonderful. All right. What else do we have? I'm going to keep going through these because they're not that interesting. They don't appear to be that interesting. I want to see if we get video. Okay, keep going. Okay, all this grease stuff. There we go. Here we go. All right, let's take a look at some of these photos. All right, well, it looks like Pong. Great job, guys. Yeah, I don't think. Another Pong image. Great. Wonderful. More Pong. And more Pong. Not very impressive at all. Okay, let's go to the next. I don't think these FBI photos are very useful. Yeah, I think I just need to skip all FBI stuff. Yeah, it's just not. That could literally be anything. I'm just going to randomly, yeah. Let's go to the next group. Again, we'll just randomly select one. Not interesting. All right, we got Apollo transcripts. Maybe we'll have Apollo audio. What is this? Yeah, 3 dots in a triangular formation. That's semi-interesting. Somewhere near the moon. That's sort of interesting. All right, it's not as, let's just keep skipping ahead. Cable. Sighting. What kind of sighting are we going to get? That's sort of interesting. All right. Materialize a bright light in the sky. Again, it's just a rendering, but... All right, I'm not going into this. Okay, let's just jump ahead. Oh, now we got to go to Arrow. All right, this is pretty useless. All right, I don't know what we're going to see here. As I say, so if you want to see other historical, yeah. Okay. See if there's anything else that's interesting. Did we do this? I don't think we did this one. Okay. This is Carol Rosen. Oh, this is the French thing, the Comita report. I don't think this is anything that's like. Anyway, let's see what other like folks have to say. Let's see. Yeah. Running transmedia frequently siloed with Black Knight satellite, polar orbit, maybe. According to AI, bogey is a normal term orbiting rocks and other. Well, bogey, I mean, in the Air Force, it's an enemy aircraft typically, or there's just like another aircraft coming towards somebody. Okay. Oh boy. Yep. That's the only thing I've ever seen. But hey, Kestudis, good to see you. This is the government released a bunch of documents as part of the disclosure process yesterday. So I'm just going through some of them. Yeah, it does feel like a bunch of nothing. Exactly. This is just show us the bodies. Otherwise, it's not disclosure. Oops. Yeah, the NASA audio thing was the best thing so far. The rest of it was kind of garbage, but we still have a few minutes for me to go back through the stuff that looked a little bit less interesting. Oh, are you serious? That music? I hope that music wasn't playing. All right, let's go back. Let's go back. Let me see how things are going, at least on this podcast. Not too great. Let's see. Hey, Lespose. I don't know how to pronounce it, but all right. Let's just get back to this. Yeah, blah blah blah. This is way too much. It's just a bunch of hypotheses and strategic planning. Well, that's interesting. The Roswell affair, disinformation. Let's just jump to page 77 and see what the French have to say about Roswell. I can't even tell what page. Let me just go back to the beginning. This thing doesn't have pages, and it's like Appendix 5. The colonization of space life in the universe seems okay. Let's go to 80. Looks like it was like removed, maybe. Oh, what's Leslie Kane doing in here? Why is she in here? Why would Leslie Keene's resume be in here? It's so random. Oh, because her article is here. It was in the Boston Globe. There's a way I can do a search for Roswell. Here we go. This is what we're looking for. So Roswell, indisputable facts. Okay. All right. All right. So it houses the only nuclear armed bombers in the world. The bombers still have propellers. Sighting of 9 UFOs by this is in June June 24th of 1947. All right. So it's broadcast throughout the world. The base provides information circle that a flying disc crashed. Then the guy comes in. Command announces journalists after examination of debris. It was determined from a weather balloon. Okay, Marcel covered debris because until it was definitely that the debris was definitely of extraterrestrial, like years later. Okay. Hopefully you're reading along with me. Okay. All right. A lot of this stuff is like, yeah, we know. All right. I think we're kind of nearing time. So let me just go through the last few comments and then. Okay. Yeah, they're not talking about the beings. That's very clear. And that's why this disclosure thing, at least the first trickle, is pretty bad. I guarantee, yeah, I'm pretty sure she's an asset. If I had to guess, she's definitely an asset. Yeah. Yeah, so far, all right, I'm just going to go back to, so far it's a nothing burger. My view is it's just meant to distract at this point. Maybe going forward, there'll be stuff that's actually useful, but for the most part, it's a nothing burger. It's deliberately meant to distract all the Iran war, which is going about as badly as one could imagine. Good thing there's a ceasefire, as well as the Epstein file cover up, which everybody has forgotten about, except apparently me and Julian Dory. So, yeah, unreal. But anyway, I think that's it, and that's all, folks, for this evening. Hopefully that was useful. I don't really know if it was that useful, but figure we might as well just. I really hope it. I mean, President Trump would have to be retarded to do that, but you never know. Let's see. Yeah, but that's like what I mean. It just could the stuff they showed us are just like dots in the sky. Who cares? It could be anything. You know, I could fake them. I could fake stuff like that pretty easily. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, like anybody that meets with like Jared Kushner or Steve Witkoff, that's a like negotiation that's guaranteed to fail and go badly for us. Would go very well for those two. You know, like very, very well. It looks like I'm like missing the. Mm. Yeah, hopefully this whole thing just stops. I mean, because it was stupid to begin with. Anyway, that's it, and that's all, folks. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and please do check my TikTok channel out and like follow it or whatever. I know most of you don't follow TikTok, but I got like nothing so far. I got some bunch of views, but that's about it. Yeah. Yikes. All right. Well, good night, and God bless everyone. See you next week.
breaking news.
She's dancing in the field, and the sun is in her eyes. Thousands of one in her eyes. So she stumbles through the field. She can't see, though she tries. Should've worn her pennant. Now she stumbles. Now she cries. Her skin's red and it burns, and the fields go on for miles. Life sucks you dry. She wonders why. Wonders why. You always She's dancing in the field, and the sun is in her eyes. Thousands are one in her eyes. So she stumbles through the field. She can't see, though she tries. Should've worn her pennant. Now she stumbles. Now she cries. Her skin's red and it burns, and the fields go on for miles. Life sucks you dry. She wonders why.